Hello, everybody. This is Alexandra. Hey, listen, I want to talk with you guys today about how to do darts. And I happen to be working on a choli today and thought I would video this for all of you maybe that don't have that much experience in sewing or making darts. So I'm going to turn it over to the table right now, and you guys are going to look at that and see what's going on. Okay. By the way, here's my sewing room. You can see what a crazy mess it is. It's actually more organized than you think it is. Okay, so here is the choli that I'm making. And you can see that this dart is actually marked down here. Right here is where the dart is marked, where I would need to sew that. So one of the difficult things is, how do I get that same marking on the fabric? And I actually came up with this like many years ago. To be honest, if I learned it from somebody, I don't recall. It might have been my mom, but I don't even think it was her. So anyway, I wanted to just show you kind of how I do darts. It's really easy. So I'm going to take the last pin out of the pattern, and what I do is I hold the pattern and see right where that point is. I've already done this on the underside, but I'm going to show you how I did it. I actually lift up the pattern right where that point is, and I place pins, and you can see through the pattern, see where that point is, and I have stuck the pins through the fabric. So after you put even just 3 pins in, you'll know where you're at, so you can move the pattern out of the way. So here is the front of my choli folded in half. And so we're going to go down here to these pins, and you can see I just have them like sticking in all the way in like that. Well, what I do on the other side is I'll flip this over, and what I have already done, oh my goodness, you can see all the kitty hairs, the white cat I have. You stick the same pins in, but I'm going to show you how I did this. I stick that through both layers. So here is the pin from the under layer. Here is the pin from the upper layer, and it's going to go all the way through both layers. Okay, now you do that with the other two as well, but I've already gone past that point. So you can see that point here, and those pins are very close together, right? They're basically in the same spot. So what I do then is I take this fabric, and I'm going to have to use this other hand here, and I pull those apart. And when I pull them apart, you're going to see the 3 pins that I put on both of those sides. So now that I've done that, I've got the dart marked with pins. And then all you have to do is take it and pull this fabric together until these 2 pins are about in the same spot. And that pin is our point. It's hard to do this with one hand, but you can kind of see what's going on here. And you do have to get the bottom evened up just like that. And so that's pretty close. And let me show you how I'm going to pin this. So now, it's hard to do this with one hand. Now I'm going to take a pin and pin, hold on just a second while I get that pin in. Pin that pin in. And that's not actually quite good because this is not pointing towards that, and you want that to be at a triangle. So there, I corrected it. See that triangle starting to happen? And then I'm going to take another pin and pin it down here closer to the edge and continue the triangle. And again, because I'm doing this with one hand, it's making it tougher. Now I can remove these middle pins. I can't remove this end one yet because I haven't marked it. Okay, we don't know where the end of the dart is. But what it can do after I remove those middle pins, I can take this pin and actually put it right here and again through the fabric. So what I did was I pinned it all the way through the fabric like that. And then once you've got the dart marked on both sides, you'd have to do it on both sides, is I can remove this last marker pin. Now, and be sure to do this on the wrong side of the fabric, right? Correct? Because your darts are going to go to the inside. So the wrong side of the fabric is going to be this side that's up. Now, because my fabric is black and there's no wrong side, it's not going to show that. But now you can see how I went from just this little marking here to having it pinned well enough to sew. Now, I actually have pinned this backwards of the way I wanted to sew it, okay? But that's okay for right now. What I would normally do is pin it this direction so that I can sew from the larger point of the dart up to the point. And you actually, when you go to the point when you're sewing this, and that's the reason I've pinned it on the wrong side, but that's okay, I can still get it done. When you sew it from the wide to the point, you don't go past that marker. When you start getting close with your needle here, take this pin out, go as close as you can, and then you backtrack actually into the dart. You don't have to stay along the dart line if you don't want. You can backtrack a little bit and then come back up. And then you can leave those threads a little bit longer because they're not going to show. Okay. Hey, listen, that was the tip for today on marking and pinning and sewing darts. All right, have fun. Bye-bye.